and welcome to Zelda Speedruns 2. Today we have a link between the past any percent tournament, but this is not just any tournament. This is a double header today between romulost and Eraxis and Anwonu and Miakx, and this is round 4. And today I am joined by Purple Photon and Herediman on comms, and I will hand it over to you, gentlemen.
First of all, not really a link to the past, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a link between worlds. Sorry, I had to link between the past in my brain. Okay, now that we got that settled.
Yeah, we can make it start now.
Yes, it looks like they...
Alright, so double header today. We have, for some reason, a double Brazil versus France matchup. Unfortunately, the French are pretty outclassed, so it's gonna be rough. Oh well. It should be starting any second now, and I don't know if Nori died or something. Well, here we go. I think all of them are gonna do the same route, so we shouldn't have problem actually following it. Not a big deal. The start is gonna be the same for everyone, either way. First of all, they are gonna both save here. It's mandatory. You can progress to this unless you save, so important to do that. We're not gonna get that many weather vanes for transportation. 80% gets only the essentials. Pretty much 4 here for fast travel, and then 2 only for Laurel when we get there. And yeah, it seems Anwonu's scam is broken in some way. It's not a big deal. We have about, I'd say, 2 minutes and a half until something actually happens that makes it important for us to see everyone. So as I said, Rom and Anwonu, hailing from Brazil, they are both the favorites for their respective matchups, highest seeds. Rom is actually first seed in the tournament, so kind of hard. And Eraxis and Mia both from France. A lot of French runners in Unlimited Wars for some reason. Pretty much half of the tournament is French, which is super weird. Okay, we are off. They're gonna get the weather vanes here in Kakariko. Just for fast travel, you have to go here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And a bit on my end. It's weird, I can't even hear you. Whatever. Power glove skip. It's a thing that we do. Oh, Eraxis fails it.
Swiss. Unless rounds.
Alright, I have no idea if Com was great for that. Either way, they go here. They need to get 10 rupees on the tunnel. And Ron got 26, which is pretty good. Eraxis is trading quite behind right now. Okay, so Jeff's problems were on his end rather. That's okay. So laying there or seeing the cutscene at the start makes the rival shop unlock way earlier than normal, and every single item instead of just the bow, which is pretty good. You get a free item here if you don't have enough rupees for one. They are all gonna get fire rod, most likely, and then buy the bow for its normal price of 10 rupees. And now it's time to go to the sanctuary to get the lamp. Pretty important item because it unlocks the ability to actually equip items and nothing else. Also the sword, I guess. Swords are kind of important. You need to damage things. The sanctuary, of course, has Dampe. Shout out to Dampe. He does nothing. There's nothing important about him. Instead, we just talk to him. He makes us get the sword that we have to deliver. Otherwise, he's just there. There's also a dark Dampe in Laurel that we don't really see in runs. It's briefly seen in Hando, but pretty much nothing. I don't know if he has a special name. He's just Dampe but purple. Alright, 50 rupees here in the sanctuary. It's pretty important to get at least 50 here. But usually since you want to get some extra drops during the run, you usually get everything here. Ron can technically skip both the blue rupees that are right around here by getting another chest that contains a red rupee. Messing up the menus a little bit. I don't know if it was intentional, it looked almost intentional. I guess it's faster to switch bow and tornado later on. Ram is gonna exit Sanctuary with 69 rupees. Pretty sick. And now it's time for the best cutscene in the game and a completely normal cutscene. Nothing weird going on. Don't question it. Looks like Eraxis failing power glove skip means that he's gonna be pretty much behind. The rest of the runners are head to head. And they're all gonna get the tornado rod. Pretty important item. I think Mia is gonna get the hammer instead. A tornado rod is one of the most broken items in the entire game, and it's very important for escape coming up. So you want to have it for Eastern Palace here. Mia instead is gonna get the hammer, just to get a 100 rupee thing that is right around the corner. The usual route is just getting the fire rod because you save 50 rupees, or you have to get 50 less rupees than getting tornado rod for free. If you get tornado rod at the start, you have to get these rupees here, which is a little slower, but you don't have to get as many drops. Alright, Eastern Palace. They're in a global cycle here. They want to go as fast as possible so they can get hit by this small ball, then just walk through the rest. Rom a little slow on that. I think it is not a big deal. The rest of the dungeon is not in a global cycle as the start here. And there are a lot of rupees right around here, so why not get them? Now for a small mini boss, just 2 spin slashes. And many rupee drops for Rom. He's gonna be pretty good on rupees. Very good on rupees, yep. Now it's time for Eastern Palace boss escape, which is the first of many uses of the tornado rod. You want to lure these armors right to the corner and use the tornado rod as they're invincible to get pushed out of bounds. Very easy for Rom, and Anwonu gets it as well. This boss escape is pretty tricky if you don't get the best possible setup. Getting the armors up there is very, very slow if you don't get that. So both Brazilians going up ahead quite a lot. Now it's time for Yuga. Yuga is a pretty easy boss. As long as you do the same thing every time, he's not gonna do anything weird. Using the bow there. Important to note here, the game has a stamina system and you get a stamina bar normally, but we skip the cutscene that gives you the stamina bar, so they can't shoot as many arrows as it seems because stamina is not infinite, it's just invisible. So they have to shoot an arrow and slash after a few cycles. Not a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal for other possible skips because tornado rod and bombs and other things take a lot of stamina. And the last part of the dungeon here has a lot of rupees, so we want to get most of them. There's one chest that you normally skip here. You can get it and be good for rupees for the entire run, but I doubt anyone here is gonna get it. Maybe Eraxis? Probably not Mia. It's way slow to get that on the rock he's doing. But there's another 100 rupees here at the east wall. They need to exit on at least 270 rupees, so they are good. Also, I'm gonna exit on a 1340 or somewhere around that. I don't know the exact time, but pretty good. Both Frenchies are gonna be a little behind. And now we technically don't get anything for beating Eastern Palace. You're supposed to go and visit Zelda before doing Eastern Palace and doing a way longer sequence that we did. And Zelda gives you the Pendant of Courage. Then you go beat the dungeon and Sahasala comes here and tells you, oh, you actually have the pendant. You don't really get it at all. So this pendant is just there for some reason. It works out. We're gonna get the pendant the second time later, but it's not gonna do anything for us. And now it's time for some shopping. They want to get the bombs and the hammer. Since hammer is one of the needed items to finish Hyrule, it's gonna be discounted at 20 rupees. So that lets you save 30 rupees on this trip. And we get a double text box private joke. Yay! Thanks to the double text box private joke, they're gonna lose about a second, something like that. Every item has a chance to get one of those. Or even a single text box, but still. Pretty good RNG time loss. And now it's time to meet my waifu, Irene. I missed it, but Eraxis actually got the 50 rupee chest that is exiting Eastern Palace, so he doesn't need to get a single RNG rupee drop. There's a chance that anyone that doesn't get that chest may not be good on rupees at the end, but it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, Irene. Best Sage gives you a Warping Bell. Pretty important. Not a necessary item, you can actually skip it, but very fast for fast travel, of course. Mia getting the hook shot? I don't know this route very well apparently. He's gonna get every single thing here, which is weird because he's gonna be low on rupees. Very low on rupees actually. He needs 200 rupees to get the smooth gem after Zora, which is basically where everyone is going right now. I don't know if Jeff is still muted and having problems. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to carry that.
Oh, have I been muted? Oh my god.
You didn't even know? Come on, Jeff. Yeah, you were muted. I thought you were still. I'm sorry if I was talking over you then.
I am. Yeah. Saying I
think we're still having problems on that. 300 rupees here. They're all gonna get it. It's pretty important.
And I think I've seen before. Oh, was that me? Miakx? Yeah.
I have no idea what you're saying. We're still having problems on that, apparently. Fast boots, pretty important in this game. Of course, they let you run fast, but they also enable a lot of skips. So any percent really needs to get them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Pegasus boots in this game have an interesting mechanic where anytime you start, when you start, there's like a brief period where like it just stands in place while like, charging up the dash. Then also when you cancel it, he like slides forward for a bit, and that has an interesting property where if you cancel it, to get the slide the certain distance away from a gap, you'll like slide across the gap, and then if there's more land on the other side, you can like slide across the gap to the other side.
It's probably the item that saves the most amount of time out of all that we get.
Yeah, as There's a couple tricks that save a ton of time that are only possible with the Pegasus boots.
Oh, and small skip that we did there. The first bomb rod in the game.
Yep.
Place a bomb, use the tornado rod, and you can damage boost through some things. In this case, just a cutscene trigger. Not a big deal, but still.
The weird, like, platform column thing definitely helps there. It kind of pushes you up. Normally you can only, like, bomb rod vertically, like, through a ceiling, but there you can get pushed forwards by the column, even though you're not going directly upwards. Looks like Miakx is getting the item pouch, which is not something that you see a lot of runners still do. It's slower.
It's pretty much a comfort item. Gives you another item slot that you can use very well in Hyrule, but it doesn't really save as much time as to guarantee that getting it is gonna make you faster.
Yeah. It used to be good, but now that you have to get quick equip, it's just a kind of a like a beginner, something you might see beginners get, or people who aren't as comfortable with their equips.
Both Roman, I think Anwonu also skipped the red at the waterfall. Probably. They're pretty good on rupees, about 130. They are most likely gonna get enough drops to get the 150. Eraxis is gonna have to actually get it. Not necessary, but it saves you a lot of travel on RNG. And let's see if Anwonu also tries to go for this damn skip that I hate. Because Rom is obviously gonna get it first try.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a very... Not only is that trick precise, in you only have, I think, maybe 2 frames to use the turning rod once you walk on, but I also tried to do it a while back, and I realized how tight the stamina route for it actually is.
Yeah, you basically only have one try. Well, you usually just void out again, so it's not that big of a deal. Anwonu's gonna give up, unfortunately. He's on one heart. We saw Drum die here on a decently important race, so hopefully that's not gonna happen to him. He needs to damage boost at least once here.
Here in the ZSR race back in 2017? I think that was the 2017 ZSR marathon. UT raced any percent, and Rom unfortunately died in House of Gales.
There's skip.
Yeah, shout out to KKTB for that bomb. Not bomb, tornado rod into the keys. Basically a bomb rod with the keys, and it pushes you up high enough to hit the loading zone for the 3rd floor.
Gets spotted by the Barry? Are they called Barrys? I think so. It can be on the way and it's kind of annoying, but not a big deal. And this is Marco Mill.
This is another boss where you have to be very, pay very close attention to your stamina.
It's very hard to optimize. You want to use a bomb and then a spin slash. This stamina rod for this is pretty important.
Purposely voiding out after this, like, second time hitting the eyes. Or maybe, they will have to void out at some point during the fight.
Yeah, after this next hit probably. You want to place another bomb, usually. It works out. It's kind of hard to hit this stamina cycle correctly, but it works out if you can do it.
You also notice Ram is using bombs to damage the eye, instead of switching to tornado rod and then using his sword. that's something that Miakx would be able to do, is still use the Tornado Rod and use his sword. Which I believe might be a second or two faster.
Yeah, that's the only real advantage of getting the pouch. You can use both.
There's a couple advantages. You don't just not having to switch back and forth between bombs and Tornado Rod saves time. It allows for faster strat here, a faster strat for the first the fight you do to get the first key. A couple other things, but
Anwonu having a little trouble with Margomil. Got a few unlucky cycles. So he's gonna be the second one out of House of Wheels.
making his way
for all
to
time anyway.
Looks like he's got exactly 150 rupees, so that's enough for the rest of the run for him. Anything more he gets is just not important. He's gonna have it left at the end of the run, unless he dies somehow and needs to spend that. Eraxis
All runners except Mia actually have. All runners except Mia actually have enough rupees now. Mia is about 30 short, which is gonna be a problem, but the rest are at 150 or above. Time for Caves to escape.
Mm-hmm. So
Not really
you're supposed to go through three caves, but the second and third are connected. Except it's like a vertical thing where you can only drop down from the third into the second. But you can do that your dash, where you kind of stick to the wall and then cancel it at the right time to stay on the other side. It's actually not a dash slide in the sense where you like slide across the gap. You will always, even if you continue your dash, like just stick to the wall for whatever reason there.
And now it's time for Tower of Hera. The real test of if your run is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
This dungeon is very broken. The way it works is that every single floor is loaded determined of your vertical position basically. So you can bomb rod and get to above floors. And we're gonna use that to go out of bounds and do this dungeon super fast. But it's also a kind of hard trick. 2 frames. Usually Rom gets it pretty fast, but it's very easy to fail.
Mm-hmm. This is just another instance. Every time you fail this, you have to switch back and forth between the bomb and the tornado rod. Looks like he was a little bit early there. It's around the 4th quick red flash.
Okay, face it again. Did I jinx him? Probably.
Maybe. The Eraxis, the cave dash. Let's see where Anwonu is.
Oh no, Rom, don't do this to me. The bigger problem of this skip here is that every single time you fail, there we go, 4th try, acceptable.
4th try. Which is...
Every single time you fail, you have to wait for a long time to get enough stamina for a bomb and a tornado rod. So the time starts piling up.
I believe. Tornado rod uses half. Using up almost all of your stamina.
Okay, let's see if Eraxis can get this first try and make the time difference not as big right now. Now small optimization coming up here. Rom is gonna stand on this moving platform. There's usually a cutscene of the platform rising. If you're in the platform, it doesn't really happen. Saves a little bit of time. That gives you a pretty good position to start and do this room very fast.
The Rom is coming up on Molder on the boss of this dungeon. So it can be a little bit tricky. He's gonna use arrows for the first 3 hits and then a sword slash right at the end. Every time you hit Moldorm, it kind of speeds up, so each successive hit, especially the ones with the bow, can be a little bit difficult to line up.
No one getting first try on the bomb rod. Unfortunate. At least We don't know yet. Maybe Mia will get it.
Oh, and Rom is already done with... Oh, I must have been behind.
I think I'm behind myself.
I think we're going to see Rom skip this heart container, though. Oh, no, he's going to get it for safety.
Usually he gets it when it's not that optimal to actually fall down.
Yeah.
Because I think it's faster if he's around here to get it.
I think if you're right next to the heart container, it's about the same speed to just get it and watch the cutscene than it is to drop down and not get the heart container but skip the cutscene.
Despite the fourth try, he's gonna get a 29 Hera. This is pretty insane. And shows you how easy it is to get a sub 30 Hera.
Yeah.
And Mono also gonna get it, so pretty good.
So Miakx making his way into South there as Eraxis now back inbounds. Meanwhile, Rom and Anwonu are going to be heading for the Master Sword. The ghosts are pretty much the same every time. They fly around randomly, but they always end up in the same place before they go fly off through the branches, or whatever these things are, logs, tree, whatever.
I'd call them paths. That's about it.
So they always end up in the same place before they start flying into these like logs or whatever. You just have to know which one is the one you have to watch when they fly around like that. And then on the last one, it's always south. The crest path.
Ooh, guess the bonkless way through that. Pretty hard actually. Usually you bonk on the side of the tree there. On the branch that sticks out.
Like a pretty good fight from Eraxis. It looks like Miakx got that second or third try.
I can definitely go ahead now. Let me refresh. Yeah, there we go. Eraxis is getting 31 Hera, which means he's about 2 minutes behind. Very hard for him to make up the difference against someone like Romulo. So it's getting harder and harder for the Frenchies to catch up, unfortunately.
Romulo has gotten very good at this game. He is very, very consistent and very, very good.
He's a god gamer. He has a lot of good times in many games.
He has done 2 runs in this tournament. I know it's the 4th round, but he won on a forfeit where he didn't actually race. And his average time, I believe, is a 1:23, so that's insane. No one else has, I think, gotten below a 1:27 in like any one run, and his average is 1:23, so... Anyways, he has the Master Sword now, so he's going to be going to get a quick equip and the last couple items he needs to rent. And one who's not too far behind him, like...
I think that we're gonna see here, since Anwonu actually skipped the hard container. Never mind, he was at full health. Never mind. You get a free heal here when getting the Master Sword. So usually skipping the hard container, which you only want for health refills, maybe, unless you're going super safe. It's mostly faster because you can just get the health there. Also, Rom and Anwonu got quick equip, pretty important. And one of the backbones of any percent right now. Lets you change equipment on the fly, which makes it so you have to multitask in many areas. But it pays off, and you can do something very cool called quick equip cancel. Hero Castle here is kind of weird because we have two layers coexisting at the same time. The layer of having to go and talk to Zelda, and the layer of going back to beat Yuga. There are some pretty important effects here. There are guards, of course, but most importantly, the cutscene with Zelda that we have to watch anyway is actually very fast because Zelda doesn't exist. So the camera doesn't pan to her and do some weird stuff. It's much faster.
This cutscene is, you're supposed to watch it like before you ever go to Eastern Palace or anything. But even though we skipped all that, we skipped the ship to the castle, we still have to watch this cutscene in order to actually go up the tower and get to Laurel. And this, I believe, is what requires the sanctuary. You have to finish the sanctuary, because if not, this cutscene won't be here, and you won't be able to go up the tower.
I know Mia got every single item, so will he actually go and get Quick Whip?
Does he have every item already? I thought he didn't have the fire.
Pretty sure he bought every single one except the boomerang, of course.
We'll see if he goes back into the item shop.
What an item.
Definitely
You can actually...
big disadvantage to not have quick equip, even if you get the item patch.
You can actually do Quick Equip Cancel using something else, which I call fake Quick Equip Cancel.
It's
basically unequipping an item on a pause.
Yeah.
But it's much slower.
Yeah, especially if you want to quick cancel the same item over and over again. You have to unequip it with a slow equip and then re-equip it and then do that again instead of just tapping and re-equipping the item with quick equip.
He's one of the oldest skips in the game and one of the easiest. Another rare route to get out of bounds here and skip killing every single armor here. And now we actually get to meet Zelda for the first and last time until the end of the game. Hi Zelda.
Yeah, so it looks like Miakx is going back in to get just the fire rod and quick equip.
And coming up for Rom and Anwonu, you can actually dash diagonally in these stairs and go into the loading zone right away, but we don't know if it's RNG or simply very precise positioning, but you can bonk on the corner for some reason. So usually most people just go straight and just walk into the loading zone.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have 5 hearts instead of 6. Bonking usually means getting hit at least once, so you don't want that.
Every time you bonk, you're just more likely to get hit by one of those soldiers. And there are hearts you can get, but obviously that takes even more time, so it's best to just avoid taking as much damage as possible.
Most of the optimizations of any percent once you go into Laurel are health management, so it's pretty important that you have enough health here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are some 3 hearts here on the right after Yuga, but usually you really don't want to stop for those. Yuga too, by the way, 3 clones. The real one is the one with fire and the staff. Second phase is tricky. You can get a 2 cycle there, but you need to predict where the real Yuga is. And if he crosses with the clone in the wall, it's completely random which one is the real one. But you can usually just charge the Spin Slash and wait between the two of them. Very rare that you don't get to walk to either one of them, usually. Yo, Mashi. Ram is gonna be the first one to enter Laurel with a sub 40 time, at least on mine. Never mind, it's 40:01. Get wrecked. Here's where the routing actually gets interesting. 7 dungeons here. You can do them at any order, except not really. You're supposed to do Thief's Hideout before doing Desert Palace, because you unlock the Sun Rod from Thief's Hideout. Fortunately, we can completely skip that. So Thief's Hideout is going to be the last dungeon, actually. It's the closest one to the starting point.
To doing Thief's Hideout last, in addition to it being the closest dungeon to Laurel Castle.
It also has a lot of rupees, so the early routes do it first just for that. Also for a Master Rod, but we don't talk about those times.
Yeah, the sword will not be upgraded in this round, spoilers.
Pretty much the agreed upon first faster dungeon is Swamp Palace here, which already has a pretty huge skip and the most recent addition to the route, basically. Not that new, but still.
Yeah, 2.5 years old at this point, but it's the most recent thing.
The quest to get to Swamp Palace usually requires getting a big bomb rather, that you have to buy or steal, both of which we actually did in 80%. Buying it is 200 rupees, so that's pretty bad. You have to get extra rupees. So instead, we're gonna not even steal it, just skip it entirely. Its only real purpose is making it so this first room is drained of water. But we can use something called ice rod clipping to clip through the wall and get into the loading zone. It's also super easy. Just hold left and mash B and fail.
You're going to see it again here in this several times in Swamp Palace, and then once later on. This dungeon has gone through some different routes over the years, but this is... You'll see 2 routes predominantly, depending on how comfortable people are with ice rod clipping and also like swimming out of bounds. Rom is going for a route that skips the boss, which is the faster route, but it's definitely the more difficult route.
I feel like at this point, I'm the only one that actually doesn't do this.
Yeah.
It's bad when you fail it. So if you're not 100% comfortable with it, you shouldn't go for it.
You can fail it in a couple different ways. You can like fall out of bounds. You can clip into the boss room, in which point you just have to fight the boss. There's also like if you do things completely wrong, there's a very, very slight chance of soft blocking, but that's extremely rare. And Ron fell out of bounds.
Spoilers, I don't even have that on my screen. You need a very precise position here, and you have to get it while swimming, so it's pretty hard to get
the position and angle are very precise, so...
Usually you want to land inside the wall, but not really. So 1 foot inside. Or
the position more so determines if you land if you like make it or not, and then the angle determines whether or not you're in bounds or not. But you want to stay out of bounds, but also like make it to like cross this like gap, sort of.
Yeah, then you
And you
walk
have to
very
move
carefully.
very slowly, which is why you charge a spin attack, because that kind of allows you to move more precisely. But he gets it.
Anwonu was the first to get it, so he's now ahead in this imaginary 4-player race. And now it's time to go to Desert, which is right around here, so pretty convenient.
Desert Palace is actually probably the longest dungeon casually. There's a lot of things that you have to do in this dungeon. It's intended to be one of the last dungeons you do, so that kind of makes sense. But it's like the shortest dungeon in the speedrun. You won't even go inside the actual dungeon.
In
And
terms of
you
actual
fight the
dungeon
boss.
length, it's 0 seconds. Yep.
Yeah.
Even less because we're gonna do something called Desertscape to never enter the desert at all.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go onto the map that allows you to enter Desert Palace. Like the map the Desert Palace is in, the actual like Hyrule Desert. We're gonna get to the painting directly from the mire.
Yep, using the triple triad of the 3 rods. You can leap out of bounds, get up with Tornado Rod, and
Ice
do
Rod
this
clip
Fire Boost.
out of bounds, Tornado Rod clip to get back in bounds, and then another Fire Rod damage boost to get out of bounds again. Then the Pegasus boots. First major skip we're going to see with them, I guess. Even though we have seen some dash slides, it's the first really, really big one.
Yep, skipping Saganaga is pretty huge.
And it's
for
what
many
makes this run
reasons
possible. Because for a while, the only thing you needed the Sand Rod for was for Saganaga. Now that you can skip it, you don't need the Sand Rod, which means you don't need to be thieves before Desert.
As usual, I feel obligated to say the thing. So you can beat Saganaga without the Sand Rod. You don't want to beat Saganaga without the Sand Rod.
And that is what is done in low percent.
You can technically use the bow to hit him pretty hard.
But
or
you
her.
skip bow in low percent.
So yeah, not a fun time. You don't want to fight Saganaga at all.
In low percent, you fight this boss entirely with sword beams.
And now we get a little desert here, and one is gonna go to Ice Ruins. I think all of them are gonna go to Ice Ruins.
Looks like Miakx is gonna go to Dark, judging by his splits, which we can see, but you guys can't see those on stream.
So first of all, Anwonu is gonna do another Fire Rod boost to get out of bounds in this bridge. There we go. Hook shot to the other side. And do that. Bigger skip than it seems, actually. You skip a lot of things. The entire Rosasor Mine sequence, I guess we can call that. That takes a lot of time, and you have to go all the way up Herald for that. Skips a small text cutscene with Hilda as well. So overall, pretty good skip.
Where you would not be able to skip the cutscene, like you would use a skull clip into the ledge and then be able to hook shot across the other side, but then you have to start the cutscene. And then there were like even older would do the skip.
All the versions that are still used in Hando, by the way. Kind of. One specific clip that is pretty useful for Hando. And this just
saves half a second.
The only real auto-scroller in the run. Pretty sure we're getting raw voice again from you. But it may be on my end. Anyway, the way to Ice Ruins, it's time for some chill. Except you don't want to fall off. That's very slow. Ice Ruins first seems to be the most popular, I guess, option. You can do either Dark Palace or Skullwoods instead of this. Usually you want to route it around your health route. I know I'm gonna get hit on Skullwood, so I usually go to Skullwoods right away after Desert. Since you can get a lot of health later on the dungeon. Ice Ruins basically, you don't really get hit at all. You just go, because Ice Ruins is a super long dungeon casually, but it also has vertical positioning like Tower of Heroes, so it's broken. We're gonna use this central elevator to go out of bounds.
Because you're going down instead of up. Basically, you can clip out of them somewhat movement and then go straight to the boss by not actually entering
Yep, the boss doesn't really exist.
Kill the boss while
Yep, Robo is in full effect. Whoops.
and beat them.
So yeah, if you land on the upper half of the arena, then Darkster the boss doesn't really appear. And you can just fire out the center and he dies. Anwonu in hot pace right now actually. This could be a pretty good PV for him. From getting the hard container. As I said, you want to have as much health as possible for Skullwoods coming up. Skullwoods is a dungeon that doesn't really have any weird tricks other than something else at the end. So it's mostly execution. A lot of things can go wrong. There's one room in particular that is basically you praying to RNG for it to be good. Also, apparently Mia spawned Argus in, which is unfortunate. Not that big of a deal. The fight is not terrible. So you're not really in danger of dying. But still, if you try to skip it and fall in bounds, then you have to eat this entire time loss. Anwonu getting very lucky there. That Gibdo can be passed through when he's in flames, so if you get a good pattern, you can just walk through it because the fire bar hits it and gives you basically a free pass, making that room really fast. The lamp is pretty useful here, but it's not really necessary. It's easier to hit the Gibdos with that instead of just using the fire rod, which takes a lot of time to wind up. You can just slash them actually and go past them, but it's a little harder. Hammer quickly cancel there. Pretty impressive and fast because Hammer has a lot of animation at the end. So if you do it fast enough, it's basically instant Hammer and then you can move. And it's time for the terrible
RNG. This dungeon. Let's call it.
It's the only hard part of the entire dungeon. This room. If you're lucky, this is gonna be very fast, but it entirely depends on the 3 enemies here. This pattern looks okay. Super okay, actually. Very fast for Anwonu. I don't know how behind I am right now, because it's synchronizing. I should probably refresh again. Seems like Rom didn't have any problem as well.
A little.
I completely missed the
So like
skip.
you said, you can use the lamp on Gibdo's.
Yeah, usually
Like I didn't do that.
Usually using the lamp here is the most agreed upon strategy. You can just slash them until they die, but it's not as fast.
Right. If you hit them both with the lamp, you have an attack and get both of them before they like start walking around past us pretty fast. But
And coming up is the first real skip of the dungeon. Eyeball duplication.
One of the oldest tricks, actually. And here we have the oldest trick in this game.
How far behind I am? I don't know. But yeah, pretty much day one trick. Use the tornado rod, get pushed through the wall and to the loading zone, and basically skip that. Knuckle Master is a boss that anyone has actually run this game except for Glistless has probably never fought. And Hando, I guess.
100%.
But in Hando is not that big of a deal. Here it would be super slow because an upgraded Master Sword takes a long time. And now it's time for Dark Palace, which actually has no skips, so yay.
Yeah.
I guess if we don't count...
like Era because it's kind of hard, but a lot of people don't like Dark Palace because it's just boring, there's no skips or anything, and the boss is just RNG.
Dark Palace is pretty much only execution based. It's not that boring.
Yeah.
But it's pretty hard to actually optimize. And of course,
Yeah,
Javasaur is
it's going to look it's the Anwonu where
Mia seems to be ahead now, but don't worry. Mia is doing this dungeon before the other ones for preferences, maybe. Struggling a little bit on this skip. That may skip, pretty important, but also super tiny. Oh, kills the Snapdragon. That's pretty bad. He has to reset the area. The idea is that you want to lure or move the Snapdragon to that corner, then get hit by it, stun it, using usually the hook shot.
have to go 2 screens away to get the enemy back.
Yep. And then you can bonk to the right, and the enemy pushes you upwards, so you land on the railing, and you can just walk to the final part of this dark maze. You can actually fall down.
Over to this fairy fountain here.
You can actually fall down into the water here, and it looks like a soft lock, but you can go out.
Not actually a soft lock, is a somewhat tricky way to get out, which is, it's known that there's a way to get out, but I don't know a lot of people who actually know how to do it. I, for one, don't really know how to do it.
I've had to do it at least once, but
it's something that's so rare that it's kind of definitely something that is worth learning for like a marathon or a race or something, but
basically you just fall and use tornado rod at the same time, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the specifics, but you can clip through the floor using that. The objective of this Dark Palace is basically breaking some border windows, I guess we can call it that are on these higher floors.
There are some windows on the top floor that are like you have to uncover in order to shine light down to open up the path to the boss room, pretty much. And that's the entire dungeon.
Basically, the only reason you have to go into this room is to do this. There are some other things here, and in Hando you would get them, Master Ore, and some extra rupees in case you need them. But other than that, it's go in, go out, and go to the boss. On the boss door room, actually, there's a pretty neat skip that is weird that it works, but Ice Rod spawns above your head so you can hit this switch instead of going all the way around, beating a small mini boss, which is basically just some enemies that are there. And that lets you go all the way through the walls here and hit that switch. Instead, you just use Tornado or Ice Rod rather, and save a key, save the travel, and just go do some glitchy bowling. I'm buffering a lot on my end on Anwonu right now, so I don't know how accurate my view is. Sorry.
It's like he's in the box. Take the box. That's where they are from.
Let me just do a small life hack.
And Rom, it looks like he has out of bounds in the boss key room. This is just something. Base. It's kind of random.
Gemasaur sucks. The fast starts for this boss are pretty fast, but
there's a little. Yeah.
You still rely on him being a good boy.
Mm-hmm. There's things you.
There's things you can do, probably. Some positions work better than others for Gemasaur, but usually he just wants to do anything he wants and never listen to you. And let's us rescue Golly. Now, Turtle Rock is right around the corner here, but you're supposed to go on a different portal to actually access it. Thankfully, there's a small out of bounds here that we can do. It's a little tricky, but it's not that big of a deal. It also doesn't skip too much, just warping to a portal, and then going through the portal, and then going to the other portal. I don't know the exact time it saves, but it's...
In old routes, this trick was actually required because you didn't activate the portal that you would warp to get to... Or, yeah, you didn't activate the weather vein that you would warp to, you would activate...
Oh, right. The abandoned house weather vein.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it on the enemies, but Anwonu gets through. Now he can dash all the way here and fall into Lake Halia, or whatever it's called in Laurel. Now there's a small quest that you have to do for the turtles to actually get into Turtle Rock, but we can skip that with a weird trick called animation storage. You want to swim into this and hold B. And the next time you hit anything, you're gonna do the animation of going at the pier, and that lets you do that. Now for that rock. One of the harder dungeons, in my opinion, 90%, but it's not that big of a deal anymore. As long as you get the escapes correctly. There's a small escape here with the ice rod, hitting the whistle before it spawns. But the important thing is coming up. Boss escape. In its current iteration, pretty easy. Let's see how they do. Hit the whistle earlier, so it spawns here faster. Make him shoot here, and use the shot to warp or clip to that. This gives a lot of things, going all the way around the dungeon to get the boss key, and basically just lets you fall down into granites.
Using the wizard is much easier than using a...
Yeah, this used to be the biggest rank killer by far. One frame trick that required a lot of fast equips and
kind of
movement.
And then it's only at one frame and goes like, and it's always at the right height. Hit it. Some part.
Alright, first phase of Greenaxe done. Now it's time for RNG Hell. Greenaxe has 3 possible attacks. The neck bite, which you want to get because it lets you hit him for free. Spin attack that we don't want because you have to get hit and it's slow and you need to get more health later if you're being super safe. Or the explosion, like that. Explosion is the worst one because there's no way to speed it up, just go away and wait. It also deals a lot of damage, so getting hit by it is bad.
Anwonu is on really...
Yep.
He's over 2 minutes ahead of his... Oh, and the other one's far.
He may get a 125 if everything else goes alright. Which is kind of insane, and I hope he doesn't beat me. He's gonna get the car container.
Anwonu was one of the best that when first came out. He had the record pretty much from like late 2013 until like through the first couple months of 2014.
Yeah, and Anwonu was definitely one of the old school runners that dominated this game before people like Zahir.
Other people like Zahir and Hamland came around.
And Bunny B, I guess.
And Bunny had the record at one point as well.
I'm still hoping for him to...
The OG.
Yep. I'm still hoping for Bunny to appear one day with a 118 or something like that. He just does that sometimes. Alright, so 6 dungeons down. Both Anwonu and Rom are gonna go to the last dungeon. This side out. Probably the most boring dungeon in the run. Nothing goes on there. It's super long as well. Oh, 8 minutes and 30 seconds if optimal. First thing in the dungeon is this super slow statue puzzle. You can't really do anything about this. You have to beat it. There's no way around that. Because you need the north door here to be open for later.
Link can walk through that door from when it's closed, but the girl cannot. So you need the door escort.
And now that this is solved, it's time to do the most stupid skip in the entire game. That barely saves any time, really. But it's cool. I assume that Anwonu is gonna do ice strats, which are faster and cooler, and not even hard. But yeah, line up these two statues, hit the switch, and hold the right statue on the upper half, important, so you end up in this limbo between floors. And from here you can solve this room here.
Fight, it pretty much guarantees a 3.
It's time for this mini boss. Okay, what did Romulo do? Why the LMAO? Show me. I see nothing wrong. I don't know, I got baited. This used to be a pretty important mid boss because it drops 100 rupees. So in early routes, it was a pretty easy. Oh! That happened. Alright. So I was talking about all the routes. This used to be something super common. Dying to this mid boss. Hey, Eraxis has a chance now.
Yeah.
He's gonna enter this side out basically at the same time as Rom, I think. But Rom barely has any items, so this is gonna be really awkward. Gets bombs and hammer.
Rented bombs and hammer, which
I think he's gonna go for bad strats on trial skip later. Just to try to salvage this.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to do the no, I guess he is gonna be able to still do alternate.
I think he's gonna be ahead
as
well.
He's not gonna be able to do alternate trial skip. He doesn't have hook shot.
He can still get the position without hook shot.
Yeah.
But does he know the actual setup?
Might not know the setup without hook shot though.
Oh, he also doesn't have the bow, so whoops.
He could use a small bomb to throw and throw it towards the.
Does it even reach? I don't know.
Yeah, I would guess at this point he's just gonna go for original trial skip.
Pretty much, yeah. So Rom is gonna get the advantage here either way because he already created this super slow room. He's gonna do vanilla stacks.
Having to go through this room the intended way, he's still ahead.
The only real reason that this skip is a little faster is because you don't really need to go through the other rooms.
Yeah.
So doing it again is pretty bad. So yeah, unless he gets hit a lot here. And I saw some sword beams, so he's not gonna get a 2 cycle. And this is a little awkward.
I'll have to be right back.
Yeah, sure.
In 2 minutes.
So yeah, Rom is still gonna be the first to get this smoke key. But being forced into hard strats later on may make Eraxis take the lead later. Really depends. Anwonu is, of the 4 runners, the one that is far ahead right now. Went with Thiefgirl, that's her name, all the way through here. You need to go with Thiefgirl through all the dungeon or else the boss doesn't spawn and the door to the painting doesn't really open. So you actually need her. We've tried to skip her, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. So we'll skip here. He's gonna use the tornado rod to get up here and merge right away instead of waiting. Ooh, Eraxis is going for that guaranteed third cycle strat, or second cycle. Pretty bad apparently. Didn't work out for either of them. It's gonna take a lot of hits. If he didn't get most of the hard containers, this would be bad. Anyway, Stall Blind. Hammer destroys this guy, like super hard. Skips animations, and it double hits for 8 damage on the second phase here. So we only need 2 hits with the hammer. Double hits, that is. And then 2 more hits here. And easy fight. Anwonu first out of Thief Side Out, and in time to go into Laurel Castle, the last destination on the entire run. I think Rum is a little tilted because that's something very weird to fail. Not getting there fast enough on the bomb. I don't know if Anwonu got the cool start here. Let's see if Rum gets it now. The Ben Stephens drop. Not quite. 1 frame trick to fall down there if you stop your dash on a specific frame.
Okay.
So the important part about doing Thief Side Out for, or last rather, is that usually when you do your last dungeon, you get a really long cutscene of getting the Triforce, in which you have to watch it rise and appear and walk to it. But you get the Sandrod here, which is gonna overlap with that and makes it so that cutscene never happens. So you can just go away and you have the Triforce and you can go into Laurel Castle. At least it's right here. It's pretty good for positional routing, I guess we can call it that.
Rom doesn't have the old strat, or the intended strat.
Alright, will Anwonu save? Probably not. He's on pretty good PvP pace.
The only thing I think that could really wreck a PB at this point is dying to you, Ganon.
He's gonna save anyway.
Yeah.
Raise strats. You don't want to die to Ganon. It's pretty easy. Also, Rum is not gonna have bow for Ganon. This is pretty awkward.
Gonna have to... Definitely gonna lose him some time. Need to do old trial skip most likely when he's probably not too practiced with it. Rom is probably the biggest supporter in the community of alternate trial skip and has done numerous timings to try and show that it's faster. It's around the same speed. Depends on how risky you want to play with YOLOing the setup and stuff like that.
So it's basically gonna be dying to mid-boss on Thief Side Out and Old Trial Skip. A blast from the past. Also Anwonu winning a 4-way race. Also a blast from the past.
Yep.
Don't get those guts. Oh, he already got them. Never mind. I think he was doubting himself for a sec, because he also tried to get them. Anyway, alternate trial skip. 3 hearts, but it should be first try. It's a very specific position, and that should be, yep, easy.
Yeah, did he do the...
I don't know what he did. It got super fast there. Oh well. Anwonu is the first one to enter Uganon. Has a healthy amount of hearts. And a bow. Which Rom apparently realizes now that he maybe should have gotten. Uganon is a pretty hard fight. He hits very hard. And abusing the cycles to get the most amount of hits is very, very hard. So let's see how it goes. Pretty tame so far.
It's probably a little under 2 minutes ahead of Eraxis at this point, I believe. Maybe,
The bow could make a big difference,
more,
actually.
I can't tell. The bow, if his fight still goes well without the bow, it won't be that much of a time lost, but it could mess him up, and he could die.
Anwonu on second phase now. Super hot phase right now.
Anwonu is the prodigal son of crazy tennis.
How far ahead is he? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? A minute? No, no. Can't really see it on the small screen right now.
His Thieves Hideout split, I think, 251 ahead.
So he maybe it might be Miakx. I won that. Having a little trouble on the second phase of Uganon, either way.
Yeah, probably the low 125.
Not getting too lucky on speed throws. Alright, let's see how Rom handles this situation now. Don't die, Anwonu. There we go. Just needs to get not too unlucky on Super Uganon. Can we call it Super Uganon? I don't know. I already said second phase. He's gonna go. Yep. Very fast tennis. Ron doesn't know what to do. He's not used to this. Not being here with bow. But at this point, if he goes and gets the bow, then it's gonna be terrible. Should I tell him that there's another switch that he can use? Or, yeah, just do that. Never mind. Eraxis is gonna save here. I think Rom didn't. And I think that's 2 hits for Anwonu, so this is basically GG now. I don't know why Eraxis is using the hook shot. Maybe misequipped, I don't know. Rom, please. Well, that's an unfortunate turn event. And Anwonu is gonna finish now. I think this is 124. Oh, never mind, that's second hit. I'm getting too ahead of myself. I'm eager for him to beat me. Oh, apparently Romulo forfeited. Wait. Does that mean...
Romulo forfeited?
Yep, he did. Rom forfeited.
Wow.
That's awkward.
That's very
awkward. Congrats, Eraxis, on winning the tournament then.
Well, there's still the bracket, but...
Why is he using old trial skip? Come on. Don't blue ball us like this now.
I saw him practicing for alternate before the run started, and he wasn't having good luck with it, so...
Usually at this point, this form of the trick is just used as a last minute thing. Or you have half a heart. Not half a heart. Half a heart won't work. But usually, Big Bomb takes 3 hearts, so your tries are more limited. you fail too much.
Mhm.
You just
It's gonna be a low 125 from Anwonu, which is still a PB by over 2 minutes. Very good run
Yep.
from Anwonu.
Brazil is still gonna win at least one of those. But yeah, pretty sick run from Anwonu. If it wasn't for the trickery that drum pulled on my race,
Oh, he's
we would have been
doing
the best
treacherous
possible
bow, very
trip.
nice.
Yeah, treacherous
Interesting.
style is the
Treacherous
thing.
bow.
Oh no, it beat me. It beat me.
He beat you.
Yep.
Wow. Don't you have a 125.01?
Yep.
What did he get?
One, at least according to SRL, 124.50.
124.50?
Yep.
Oh, maybe I'm just behind.
Super behind apparently.
What is it? I saw his timer being... Let's see what his splits say.
Let me watch.
Let me go to N1's actual...
124.56 according to his splits.
Wow.
So still pretty good.
That's a very good time.
I guess I have to try her now. And actually get a good time. Meanwhile, Eraxis is feeling the effects of trial skips. Does he know that he already won? That's a question. Hey, Rom has 800 rupees now. He can buy a bow. So yeah, GG to Anwonu winning over Mia, getting a nice PV. And Eraxis, despite winning from unfortunate consequences, is still a win. Let's just hope that he doesn't die to Yuganon and gets a sub 130 anyway, which is gonna be pretty easy. No big mistakes from Eraxis as far as I can tell, but pretty solid overall. Actually, this may also be a PV for Eraxis. I think he has a 129. Let me check because I know we are both on the 2D relay that will be coming up pretty soon on May. And according to that, he has a 129.01. I think it's gonna be close. Probably not. Never mind. It's not gonna be a PB, but it's gonna be a pretty good time either way. Pretty fast Yuganon so far. Should we ask Anwonu for an interview? Or maybe not? Probably not, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think he's done interviews in the past, but we can still ask him, I guess.
I don't think anyone has heard Anwonu talk at all.
Yeah, I don't think he has a mic, or if he does, he doesn't like to use it, I guess. I don't know.
At least not a stream. And yeah, not gonna be a PV for Eraxis. It's gonna be barely a sub 130. Probably not, actually. I'm bad at telling the time from Yuganon start to finish. Hey, at least Mia is not dying to see sad that mini boss.
What was I?
I have no idea why Eraxis' stream is jumping around. At least on our screen. Okay, so Anwonu has actually agreed for an interview, but first he has to wait for the credits and go offline and actually talk. Oh, you're gonna restream us, Richie? I'm gonna play on that later on. In about 40 minutes. As the number 2 player of Oracle Systems Random until the other guy decides to come back from retirement. I'm sorry, Jeff. I shouldn't talk about Rando here.
It's fine. I might have to become a professional randomizer streamer now that my 3ds capture software is just not deciding to not work anymore.
Oh, right. That's the thing that happened to Katsuki, the owners.
Did it happen to all of them? Because
I know
people who still... I know people who it's happened to before, and I know people whose like their software still works. So
the original post I saw about it was in March, I think. So it's definitely happening to more people. It's not a thing that happened right now.
Because it didn't all happen at once, but it sounds like it's just happening kind of randomly. I don't know.
It's definitely weird. Well, Rom didn't finish Treacherous Tower before Eraxis finished.
Eraxis looks like he's going to get a 131, which is only around 2 minutes. Oh, close to 3 minutes minus PD. He's got a low 120.
Okay, Eraxis is going to finish with a time of 131.54 according to SRL.
Okay, I need to write these times down on the dot.
With this, actually, Eraxis is going to take the first place in the tournament, right?
First place out of Swiss, so he'll have the first seed.
Oh, we have bracket, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a bracket.
That's going to mess up things a lot.
Yeah, Rom's forfeit is going to drop him by a bit because it counts as a 3-hour time.
Hello?
Yo!
Yeah, didn't crash.
I am Anwonu.
Hello.
He actually has a voice, that's weird.
Yeah, I almost don't talk. My English is... my talking English is pretty bad, so I avoid talking.
Yeah, understandable. As a non-native speaker, I also have a weird accent and stuff. So congrats, pretty good time. Second best time in the tournament, I think.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes lower than my previous PB. This was a pretty clean run. There were some mistakes, of course, but I'm glad of the time. Yeah.
You actually beat my time with this time by about 11 seconds, so... Not 11. What's the actual time that you got?
Yeah, 1:24.46. Just 4 seconds lower than the SRL time. I forgot to write them. Yeah.
Yep. Still pretty good. I now have some motivation to actually beat it, so that's nice.
What happened to Romulu?
Would you believe me if I said that he died to Thief Side Out miniboss?
To be honest, I think I also died before.
But that's when we did that on 6 cards.
The thing is, he kept going, and then he got to Laurel Castle, and he hadn't re-rented the bow, so he couldn't get to Trial Skip. He couldn't figure out how to do that.
Okay. He actually could, but he didn't know how.
Yeah.
So he just forfeited.
Okay, let's see.
It's unfortunate. Eraxis took it, not with as much of a stellar time. And Rom, if he knew how to actually get to the big bomb, he may have won either way. But still, Eraxis took the win in this case.
I know we were pretty close pretty much all the race, but I didn't see I knew something happened in Thieves, but I just couldn't see it at the time.
He was still ahead after that, so it didn't seem as much of a deal as it ended up being. And now he's, of course, doing Treacherous Tower. Eraxis finished before he finished this Treacherous Tower run. So he's not gonna get that. I don't know if Eraxis is gonna go in. Should be here at any point. Mia is gonna get the last stage and go into her Laurel Castle right now. Going for a 142 maybe? I don't know.
Hello.
Hi Eraxis.
Hey, what's up?
I think that you're not correctly on the layout. So I don't know if we have to correct that. It ended up being.
Okay, yo, I get my stream.
No,
what happened to romulost?
He died to the mini boss in Thieves.
Oh.
And didn't rent a bow, so he didn't know how to actually get to the big bomb and do trial skip.
Oh yeah. Oh. Rip.
Yep, pretty weird. But congrats on the win either way.
Yeah, that's fine. And GG to Anwonu for the PB.
Right.
Thank you.
Now we just have to wait for Mia to finish, which shouldn't take too long.
Yeah.
7:45 for Rom on Treacherous Tower. I don't know if that's a good time. Is it? Jeff, do you know? I suck at this.
7:45 would be a good time for me. I think you can get closer to 7 minutes or even under 7 minutes. But
I haven't done Hando in quite a while, but I think I also got about around 7 myself.
yeah, around 7 is like okay, I think. Pretty sure you can get like 6:40.
So even that was pretty bad.
And then under 5 minutes if you have like upgraded items. Anyways, this isn't a 100% tournament because no one would do a 100% tournament. If you think the any percent tournament is small, 100% tournament would be like 3 people.
I wouldn't even participate, honestly. I don't want to lose races to a chess minigame.
Well, it wouldn't be good because there's too much RNG, but also it would just be Zahir and Rom getting like 301s and like 304s, and everyone else would be getting like 10 minutes behind at least.
Alright, Mia's gonna get the mail, probably. Yeah, he has a key. He's gonna get the blue mail. It's just safety, but it's good safety if you are not confident with Yuganon. It doesn't take that long to get, but it's not optimal, of course. He actually has the bow, so he can go fast. And gets hit and doesn't go fast. Sorry. I think that while our boy finishes, can you talk to us about bracket and standings and stuff?
Yeah, I'll be able to do that once Miakx finishes.
Alright, he goes for this setup. Why didn't you do this setup, Eraxis?
Because I didn't do the setup during my holiday. I didn't practice the game, and just today I practiced the setup. But I don't know why, but I didn't do the right setup, I think, and so during the day I never achieved the setup, so I don't know why.
I guess I understand. It can be hard to get the exact position here. There are a lot of similar visual cues.
I don't know if what I do wrong is the positioning or the slash hookshot slash. I don't know what I'm doing wrong when I do the setup.
Usually if it fails, but it seems like it should have worked, it's down to where the big bomb was. So if you're too far to the left, it usually doesn't hit you correctly, or things like that.
Yeah, because just I get hit by the bomb, but it didn't push me on the wall.
Me giving up on this. Oops. Oh, never mind. He already started doing this. I'm slow. I'm watching Rom do it with the easy strats on Hando.
Yeah, without setup, that's pretty hard. This trick.
It's always hard. It's the run ender right at the end.
Hmm.
Does Rom have the nice lamp? I hope he does. It's gonna be a pretty cool thing to showcase.
Yeah.
How fast this fight is with nice lamp.
Yeah.
Nice
There's
lamp
another.
does.
There the other setup for the trail skip.
The other setup, the one that Bunny.
The first setup of Bunny Bye.
Oh, that one. I know no one that actually uses that.
Oh, yes, it's cool it's a cool setup.
I doubt it's hard, but I don't know. I know the differences. I just use the one that everybody uses.
Mm.
Probably because when it was discovered, I was the one that actually prepared a highlight for that. Mm-hmm. So there's some kind of pride on that, I guess. Yeah,
the bad thing is... Oh, sorry.
No, never mind. Go ahead.
The bad thing is that's at the end of the run, so it kills the run. But at the end, that's not like the bomb rod in Era. That's at the beginning of the run, so it goes.
It used to be way worse when you had to do the small bomb setup every time. Kind of like Total Rock Bosky Skip.
Oh yeah.
It basically was a run killer about...
It was the worst thing of the run.
40 minutes, not really an hour. Most people... No, I guess... Did we know about going from Dark to Turtle before that changed? Or when we were doing the bad setup?
The Dark to Turtle has been known since like 2014, I believe.
So probably.
Pretty old. Most things in this game are pretty old. Even the things that are new are pretty old.
Alright, so in that case, it would be a run killer at about 50 minutes. Because Dark Palace takes a long while. Rom is actually gonna finish, or will he just stand here and do nothing?
What is the next match during this round?
I don't think the last 2 matches for this round have been scheduled yet.
Yeah, one of them is mine, and I still don't know when I can play. But I have to go against Ben. I think if I win, well, no, I have tiebreakers, so Rome is probably gonna be ahead of me.
I can address bracket things and what could potentially happen based on outcomes for the rest of this round. And a potential, like, I don't want to call it a bonus round, but because it's not really a bonus round, but I've been trying to think of what to do for all the people who didn't get 4 races during the Swiss, either because of a bye or because of a forfeit.
That would include Eraxis, actually, right?
That would include anyone. So either I would say, if you did like 3 matches, if you got 4 matches, then your lowest time would be dropped. If you did 3, then nothing would change. And if you got 2, then maybe you'd have to either do an extra match and just like average in your PB or something, I don't know. Or the other option is to have everyone who didn't get 4 matches play like an extra, like playing like one big race just to get an extra time, and it wouldn't actually change the standings or anything, it would just change your average time. But I'm not sure, it depends what the people who are affected want to do. I don't want to force anyone to do more matches when the tournament's already gone on for long enough.
I honestly don't know. It really depends on the people. I know Idias would also be one of those, but I don't know if he's back from Japan. So we should wait for him either way. Actually, he has a match against Alice, so we have to wait no matter the actual outcome. Okay, Mia, please. Don't die. It's getting a little too close for comfort. Ooh. The advantage of getting the blue mail is that every single sort of damage is halved, and Yuganon deals quite a lot of damage itself, with 5 hearts being the most damaging attack. So if you skip every single heart container, you can get one shot pretty easily. Unfortunately, if you get hit a lot, even with blue mail, you end up with this. There we go. Now he just needs to not fail tennis. Think it's low. I don't agree with not merging here. He's thinking it way too risky now.
Yeah, he does have blue mail, but with 3 hearts, it's a little too risky to not merge. Maybe he will on the second wave.
It's 3/4, right? I don't remember how.
Quarters?
Is it a heart and a half when the butterfly hits you? Maybe.
Oh, it's 2 hearts. So with blue mail, it's 1 heart. So he can get hit twice, but
I guess. Okay then.
still very risky.
Can get hit once. Come on. Just needs to survive this and then match B.
He should be safe now. Even if he gets hit one more time, it would be right at the last ones. So yeah, he's fine now.
Yep, match B.
Oops. Sorry about that.
Just get the 360 and then hit a bow shot. Nice.
Oh,
That was a very smash hitbox.
yes, this is gonna be I believe around 152 exactly.
Somewhere around that. I'm gonna watch the SRL channel. I don't know if we will have time for an interview with him, because it's about 25 minutes to the next thing that I'm also joining, so I have to be ready for that. There we go. It's already on screen for some reason, but not really. And yeah, 152.17. That's gonna be me finishing. Losing the race against Anwonu, but still finishing. Technically got a better time than Rom in this quad race. So GG. Oh, it's actually 52.18 according to SRL. That's weird.
The difference of 1 second isn't a big deal. It's not going to change the standings at this point. Oh, SRL rounds down, but IRC rounds up. Okay. So yeah, to kind of go over the status of the bracket, as was asked, Eraxis has clinched the top seed by having 3 wins and a bye. Anwonu is currently at 3 wins, so that gives him 6 points. Eraxis has 7. He's the only runner who can get to 7. Anwonu is settled in at 6. Rom is settled in at 6, but his average time due to the forfeit is is higher than Anwonu's. So, and Anwonu's average time is a 1:29.59. Kind of funny. And Rom's average time is a 1:55.20.
Wow.
So after the other 2 matches for round 4 are Ferdinand versus Ben. So the winner of that has a chance to get the 2 seed if their average time is lower than 1:29.59, but is almost certainly guaranteed for the 3 seed. As long as they finish, like in under 2 hours.
It should be a pretty close race, so don't
Yeah.
miss it whenever it happens.
And then
Whenever I have the time.
the last match is Adias versus Alice Kiwi. I'm not sure how close that match will be. If Thedius wins, then it will clinch him the 5th seed, I believe. Because Eraxis and Anwonu Rom, and then one of Bredeman or Ben will be higher than him. Yeah, if Thedius wins, he'll get the 5th seed. If Alice wins, she'll be tied with Bredeman or Ben, and so then she'll probably have the 6th seed, and the other would have the 5th seed. And then the loser of that one, of Thedius Alice, gets the 7th seed. Miakx is guaranteed for the 8th seed, so he'll play Eraxis in the first round of the bracket. And depending on what the outcomes are, and if changes to average times could actually change seeding, there may or may not be like supplementary races or supplementary times to adjust seeding. My guess is probably not. I just want to get the tournament over with, and I think most people want to as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty cursed.
Okay.
Even if it was fun to actually try hard.
Okay, sorry to pop in, but I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Big shout out to Purple Photon and especially Heredaman for jumping in last minute at comms. Since we have something coming up in about 20 minutes, which I believe Heredaman is also going to be joining.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he wants a little
probably
quickie break in between. So I also want to send out GGs to all the runners, and I guess that'll be it for today until the next match gets scheduled. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are, and catch you later.
Bye.
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 See you in a second.
Bye. Thanks for watching.